I had been the type of person who would have obsessed over the idea of a wedding my whole life, but I actually never thought about what I would ever do or what I would want until I met the person. It's like so I haven't actually even thought about that.
The plush crimson sofa of the Graham Norton Show is a British television institution, a place known for its warm, convivial atmosphere and lighthearted banter. But during a recent filming, the vibe in the studio took a palpable, albeit brief, detour into awkward territory. Seated amidst a constellation of stars including the intensely reserved Cillian Murphy, the effervescent Greta Lee, comedian Domhnall Gleeson, and Lewis Capaldi, Taylor Swift was in her element, radiating the post-album release glow that has become her signature. The conversation flowed easily until it landed on Jodie Turner-Smith, who, with a casual but unflinching directness, turned to Swift and posed a question that has followed women in the public eye for decades. Did she plan on having babies? According to accounts from those present, a micro-expression of surprise flickered across Swift's face before she deployed a classic deflection tactic. She pretended not to quite understand the query, buying herself a precious second to recalibrate. Turner-Smith, however, was not to be dissuaded and asked again, more bluntly this time. The room's energy shifted. That was when, as one audience member described, Swift paused, stopped mid-sip of her white wine, let out a carefully measured laugh, and then actually took the sip. A seemingly simple sequence of actions that spoke volumes about a woman weighing the immense pros and cons of answering such a deeply personal question on live television. In that suspended moment, the entire complex dynamic of being Taylor Swift was laid bare. The constant negotiation between public persona and private life. The expectation to perform authenticity while maintaining impenetrable boundaries. Before the silence could stretch from polite to profoundly uncomfortable, the show's consummate host, Graham Norton, proved his worth. With the seamless grace of a seasoned pilot navigating sudden turbulence, he smoothly stepped in, steering the conversation toward the safer, more predictable waters of career talk and upcoming projects. Swift, ever the professional, recovered with poise, joking that perhaps such a weighty topic was better saved for backstage, and quipping that she would text Jodie about it later. The moment was brief, a mere blip in the runtime of the episode, but in the digital age, brevity is no impediment to virality. The clip made the rounds online almost immediately, sparking a firestorm of mixed reactions. Swifties and casual viewers alike dissected the exchange, with some applauding Taylor for her masterful deflection and grace under pressure, while others sided with Turner-Smith, criticizing the question as an invasive and outdated line of inquiry for a woman, any woman, regardless of fame, to face in a public forum. One popular joke that ricocheted across social media platforms read, "Jodie just lost her invite to the wedding," a testament to the fiercely protective shield Swift's fan base maintains around her. This awkward, albeit fleeting, interaction was not the only moment from the appearance that set the internet abuzz. Earlier in the episode, Swift had offered a rare, tantalizing glimpse into her upcoming wedding to NFL star Travis Kelce, casually revealing that the event would be, by design, a massive affair. In a statement that could only come from someone who has lived her life under a microscope, she explained that the idea of a small, intimate wedding felt paradoxically more stressful to her. The pressure of an exclusive, hyper-scrutinized guest list, the impossible task of curation, the intense secrecy, for Swift, a full-blown, glittering extravaganza offered a strange kind of freedom, a spectacle so large it could almost become anonymous in its own grandeur. It was a revealing insight into the unique calculus of her existence. Throughout the entire interview, awkward baby questions notwithstanding, Swift remained the picture of polished poise, balanced with just the right amount of playful charm. If there is one thing she has mastered over her nearly 2-decade-long career, it is the art of knowing precisely when to take the metaphorical mic and command the narrative, and when to simply sit back, smile, and take a sip of the wine. She appeared in a state of radiant triumph, having just wrapped the final promotional push for her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl. Dressed in a stunning, jewel-encrusted black halter-neck mini dress by David Coma, and flashing her now iconic engagement ring, an old mine brilliant cut diamond, she was all smiles as she dished on her fiancé, her music, and the surreal whirlwind nature of her current life. In her conversation with Norton, she shared a detail that sent her fans into a frenzy. Travis Kelce does, in fact, have a favorite song from the new record. The track titled Opalite is not just a casual preference. It is a song dedicated to him, inspired by his birthstone, a gesture perfectly on brand for a couple who has turned their relationship into a modern-day fairy tale, meticulously documented through symbolism and lyricism. "My dad is very excited about Opalite, and it is Travis's favorite," she shared, before delving into the song's deeper metaphor. Growing opals in a lab is an interesting metaphor for making your own happiness, for rising above the trials and tribulations and being happy you did things on your own terms. In typical Swiftian style, the song delivers dreamy, Fleetwood Mac-inspired soft rock, with lyrics that trace a journey from past romantic baggage. "I had a bad habit of missing lovers past," before lifting into the ethereal, liberating chorus, "Now the sky is opalite." It closes with a line that feels uniquely coded for Kelsey. "Oh my God. Never made no one like you before. Subtle? Not in the least. Adorable? Absolutely." She also offered a charming glimpse into their engagement, revealing that Kelsey seriously understood the assignment when it came to the proposal. "He really crushed it in surprising me," she said, her smile betraying the fact she was likely replaying the moment in her head. While we were talking on his podcast, he had a complete garden built out the back of his house to propose in. "He went all out, 10 out of 10. She elaborated on the elaborate lengths he went to, including having her tour photographer hidden in the newly installed bushes to capture the exact moment. In classic Swift fashion, she admitted to putting wedding planning on a temporary hold to ride the wave of the album release cycle, calling the wedding preparations fun, but expressing a desire to wrap up her promotional duties before diving headfirst into bridal mode. This promotional blitz came just hours after. The Life of a Showgirl officially hit streaming services, marking Swift's first studio album since announcing her engagement to Kelsey in a now legendary Instagram post, cheekily captioned, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married." The record, crafted during breaks in her record-breaking Eras tour across Europe, in collaboration with pop.
Working on this, I was physically exhausted at this point in the tour, but I was so mentally stimulated and so excited to be creating.
Oh,
and
wow.
this is...
And literally living the life of a showgirl.
It was something that I was working on while I was in Europe on the Eras.
Production titans Max Martin and Shellback was poised from the start for global chart domination. With 12 tracks, including a feature with Sabrina Carpenter on the title song, the album is an opus of glitter, guts, and romance, soaked in references to love, fame, and the relationship with the NFL star that has, by all accounts, recalibrated her world. From dreamy metaphors to suburban daydreams, Swift isn't just writing songs anymore. She is actively authoring the next highly anticipated chapter of her life, one dazzling, meticulously analyzed lyric at a time. And the lyrics on this album leave little to the imagination. If the Tortured Poets department was an exercise in heartbreak and poetic melancholy rendered in grayscale, The Life of a Showgirl is its diametric opposite. A burst of glitter, grit, and full-blown infatuation viewed through a neon-soaked lens. It marks a significant turning point in her career. Her first album as an engaged woman, her first released after fully reclaiming her master recordings, and her first without longtime producer Jack Antonoff in years, reuniting instead with the hit-making duo behind 1989 and Reputation. The result is pure, unapologetic pop brimming with sharp lyricism and irrepressible bounce. Tracks like Wood have already been dubbed her steamiest yet, with lyrics that leave no room for interpretation. "His love was the key that opened my thighs," she sings over a sultry, insistent groove, later adding the playfully brazen line, "New heights of manhood, I ain't gotta knock on wood," a not-so-subtle nod to Travis and Jason Kelsey's podcast. It's confident, powerful, and served with a knowing wink. Yet, alongside the bravado exists a deep, grounded affection. On Wishlist, a song she revealed was the last written for the album, she brushes aside wealth and fame, singing instead of a simple driveway with a basketball hoop, and a future that includes a couple of kids who look like Kelsey. This new era is accompanied by a complete aesthetic overhaul.